Basic Blaque After Dark, the all-new podcast show with your host, Blaque Diamond.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Blaque Diamond, your perfectly imperfect parent coach, and I'm the host of Basic Blaque After Dark. Now, you may be wondering what a parent coach is. Well, I'm going to tell you. This parent coach, is someone who's going to take you on a journey to parent yourself. Now, I wouldn't take you on that journey unless I've taken that journey myself. And I've been on that journey of parenting myself. And what I discovered on that journey is that I'm not perfect. Now, some people believe they're perfect. And to say that you're perfect could raise an eyebrow as well as infer that you should be perfect. But we're not quite there. Here at Basic Blaque After Dark, we have relaxed and imperfect conversations. Now, there will be sensitive topics based on imperfect parenting, families that's not so perfect, and cultural customs. And from time to time, we're going to have some guests dropping by with other topics and what's happening in your community. But tonight, we are going to introduce our first show. We are kicking it off with a mover and a shaker, a woman who is empowering you for greatness and for generations to come. Better known as the King Strategist, Miss Patricia Harris. Hi, welcome, Pat.
Hello, Blaque Diamond. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, it is great to have you here. I've been wanting to get with you for a while, and when the opportunity came up to do this podcast, first person I thought about was you. So thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
the show.
I
Well, I
appreciate
want you to tell our listeners a little bit about your backstory.
Sure. My name is Patricia Johnson Harris. I live in Maryland, originally from New York, but been here quite a while. That I call Maryland my home now. And being in Maryland with a single parent from New York with two small children, which kind of gears around your topic of parenting. It was a struggle. It was a struggle in the beginning. But when you have faith and you trust God, He'll see you through those challenges that you might have as a single parent. So, we made a home here in Maryland. And, as I got through college and getting my kids settled and everything, I kind of gained this this feeling that, I wanted to help and support other youth here in Baltimore City and the surrounding counties. And so I started a nonprofit along with my husband, Roger Harris, titled Youth Writers Challenge. And we know that there are many, many challenges that our youth are facing, in their communities, in their home, just where they're being brought up, So what Youth Writers Rock or Youth Writers Challenge does is we provide a platform. We provide a platform for these youth to creatively express their thoughts, their ideas, what they might be going through on paper, so that we give them the power of the pen. We allow them to put out everything that they're feeling, everything that they're thinking on written paper. And then we take that information and then we have a dialogue with these students and we turn their creative writing into books. And the program started in 2017 and it's just taken off.
Wow. Well, they say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Oh,
And
yes.
you've been making it. A New Yorker myself, I definitely understand. I know how it is, a little different to come from one state to go to another, especially when you have children. So I think that's one of the reasons why I chose the parenting as something that I wanted to do. Now, you're a writer yourself, aren't you?
I'm a writer in my own right. I did do a collaboration book with Miss Nikki Woods, and doing that book with her really opened me up. I really was focused on supporting other authors in Maryland with the African American Authors and Empowerment Expo, and then working with the youth with Youth Writers Challenge. But doing the collaboration with that book allowed me to put pad on paper, to really dig into things that was inside of me that I felt like I needed to get out, and so being able to write about my challenges growing up, having lost both of my parents by the age of 11, and what that did to me was great opportunity for me to put that on paper and in a book as well. So yes, it was great. It is great, being a published author as well.
Was that a surprise when you first started doing the writing? Was it a surprise that when you did that and you saw that, wow, I actually finished this? Was there any surprises about your writing skills that you came about?
Yeah, I was very surprised that because once I started, I just kept writing, and I think I never thought of myself as a writer, or I would ever be an author, that's I'm an accountant by trade, so numbers is my thing, right? So it was never in my view that I would be an author, and it took another author, Miss Nikki Woods, to after as we started getting to know each other, and she was, hearing my story. She was like, why don't
Wow.
you have a book? Like, that has to be in a
Wow.
book. It's definitely one of those things that's like an empowering story, in the book, and how to face challenges, and understand that when you go through these challenges, there's stepping stones to getting you where you really want to be or where you really need to be, and that sometimes we have to go through it in order to come out of it, right?
Wow. You're so
So
right.
we see challenges, and we do everything we can to avoid facing them head on, and it's just delaying you getting to where you really need to be, so it's just kind of
Yeah.
like, you got to go through it in order to come out of it.
Are
And
there
so
anything that you would suggest to anybody that would want to be a writer?
yeah, I would say, in the beginning, don't focus on how you write. Just get it out. Just get it out, get it on paper. That's kind of why we have editors, to kind of help us put it all into context. But I felt like when I just started writing, I couldn't write. And when I went back and read what I had, what I written, it was like, man, I didn't even feel like I was writing that long, and so I would just say, just write, right, to the beginning, just write, because some people take so much time trying to format it and get the right words in place, but the biggest
Exactly.
biggest thing you can do is just write it, and then everything else will fall into place.
Wow. Yeah, thank you so much for telling them, and hoping that our viewers are listening, especially for those who want to be a writer and think that they got a book within themselves. Now, I've been following you, oh my gosh, for a while, especially with the Youth Writers Challenge. Um, you gave us some information about it. How are you going about selecting the youth that come into the program?
Well, like as I mentioned, Youth Writers Challenge again was a platform that we wanted to provide for children, and it really came to play when we had the uproar in here in Baltimore, and just seeing that there was some youth that was outside, destroying some things because they were angry or they saw other people angry. We wanted to provide them with a platform where they can express that without, going out and damaging anything or saying some bad words to people. This was to give them a platform. So what we did under Youth Writers Challenges, we have Youth Writers Rock. right? And so Youth Writers Rock is so awesome because it's a 6-month writing program where we tap into the creative mindset of these youth, right? And we give them the floor to pretty much create whatever type of a book they would want to read, you know. And so we reach out to children by talking to some parents. You know, we go to libraries and talk to students there as well as the librarians. You know, we speak with some principals and kind to get them to let us know what students in their school may be interested in being a part of Youth Writers Rock. And it's always not the students that's the A students, you know, or the students that like writing. You know, sometimes it's the students that are shy, but being a part of this program allows them to learn how to collaborate. You know, they learn how to network, they learn how to be a little more confident, you know, with themselves. And it has shown that a lot of them that were in the Youth Writers Rock program are excelling in school, you know, have excelled in school, you know, just
maybe
within their language.
Maybe there should be a program that should be in the schools.
It would be wonderful if it could be in the school. Yeah, that's on the list.
So
that's on the list to go to the school board. Is to go to the school board
and boards and whatnot.
Yes.
So is there an age requirement for your youth to be in the program?
We start with grades 4, so we do grades 4 through 12. So right now, Youth Writers Rock, we have 9-year-olds that are authors. You know, we have middle school authors. These kids are going into college, you know, into high school and into college already as a published author, you know, which is something that they can put on their resume. But yeah, we work with students as early as 4th grade, you know, 9 years up to 16 years old. And it's so amazing to see how creative these kids are. You know, we just kind of, the coaches, we just kind of sit back sometime and was like, I would never thought of that. So it's fun for them, but it's also fun for us because we get to be inside their brains a little bit. So it's pretty cool.
So do the students have to be just students of Maryland, Baltimore City students, or can they be in any of the other jurisdictions to be a part of the program?
Well, we hold it in Maryland, we hold it in Baltimore City or in Baltimore County. So we've had students in our sessions that come from PG County, you know, and it's amazing that the parents really make that commitment to make sure that their students are at the program on time, you know. So while we're really looking for students, we're also really talking with those parents as well, because we know that they're going to wind up playing a part in this as well. So it's not just Baltimore City or Baltimore County, but it's the surrounding counties as well. They just have to be in Maryland because this is an in-person program.
So I'm not going to be surprised at all to hear that this program is in New York, it's in Atlanta, it's just everywhere, it's just worldwide. It just seems to be stretching out so much. What surprises you most about the youth in your program?
I think what surprises me most, especially the ones that come in shy, is how they start to work and depend on one another. You know, they come in as individuals. They don't know the rest of the people in their group, but then they start talking with one another. You know, they start collaborating with one another. And now they've just received, you know, a blessing to have 5 more people in their lives, you know, that have the same interests that they do. And it's great to see how comfortable they get with one another, you know, and they don't feel threatened, you know, they feel safe and they really let it out, you know, they really get personal about what's going on with them and how they're feeling, or, you know, if they felt like they was being bullied in school, they would talk to us about it. And so just being real, you know, and being open, because they were comfortable, you know, with the group that they were a part of, you know, and just seeing that once they felt that comfortable, their minds just exploding, you know, with ideas and things like that, characters for the books, and offering up suggestions to other members in Youth Writers Rock, you know, and taking that authority to say, hey, you know what, I could sit down and work with you too, you know. So just kind of seeing them all support one another and working as a group, it's pretty nice.
So, am I hearing something about a camp or something? Are we thinking about a camp? about the summer.
Listen, speak it into existence. Let's speak that into
Camp,
existence.
that
Yes,
think
please. Let's
it
do it.
sounds like that's what I'm hearing here. That we're talking
It
about
is.
having
It's
boot
it's
camp.
wonderful.
And
Yeah,
the program sounds just amazing, with all of this, with the students. You got the schools involved. You have the dedicated parents that make sure that
yes,
these students. And you mentioned something about you have the mentors there at all. Somebody is saying something about a summer camp. So if anybody out there want to offer the summer camp or a program, I don't think she'll be hesitant to offer that to you as well. Where are you?
absolutely.
Oh, somebody's down with Miss Pat. All right now. Where are you based at most of the time?
Again, we usually do them at a library. So we've done 2 sessions at the Enoch Pratt Library.
Okay.
This session, which starts in February, the YMCA asked to partner with us. And so we're now doing the winter session, 23 winter session at the YMCA in Towson. So
Oh
and
my
that's
God.
amazing when a big organization like the YMCA can say, hey, Youth Writers Rock, what you're doing is amazing, and we like to partner with you, right? That's amazing. And so we partnered with them this session. So we'll be hosting the Youth Writers Rock session at the YMCA in Towson. So we don't have a home base yet. So I'm speaking that into existence too. So we've been just doing the sessions at places that are friendly for youth, that are safe, that the parents can feel like, okay, my child is going to be safe here for a couple of hours. I'm going to run out and come right back. So that's really important for us when we're doing these sessions, these 6-month sessions, that not just, we don't think it's safe, but the parent and the child thinks it's a safe atmosphere. So we usually in the library, or we at a family organization or a family place like the YMCA. And if I could just say, we take these youth through these steps of writing a book, right? But they're learning so much more with language arts while they're going through it, right?
Yes,
And so
that's
what
why I
we
said that they should be in the schools. This because
yes,
you're touching on things that a lot of, nothing against the schools, but the school systems don't have a handle on, because you're reaching for something different with these children. The children know when they're in school they have to do what's in the books, but
yes,
they're looking at something that's creative that they're creating to put into books that
yes.
other children can read. Now, somebody here is saying that they want you to come to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Well, we
So,
could have that conversation. That would be
okay,
amazing.
I'm
We
going
can
to
have that
definitely connect you
conversation.
guys together. Now, I'm going to jump right in there because I'm super, super excited about what I've been hearing about a fundraiser.
Yes, we are. Like with any fundraisers, and if anyone has a nonprofit, you understand the whole fundraising piece of it. Money for nonprofits don't just jump out of nowhere. So we're doing a fundraiser, um, which is a benefit concert. It's going to be in Maryland, in Owens Mills, Maryland, at the Gordon Center for Performing Arts in Owens Mills. Beautiful theater,
Oh,
holds
wow.
about 550 people, and we have an amazing band, a 12-piece amazing band that's going to be doing a tribute to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Right. So the band is called Ingratitude. If
Okay.
you guys have never seen Ingratitude, make sure you're at this show, because you will be up dancing. You can even see in the flyer, them people are out there
Here
just
it
like
is.
having a ball.
Here it is.
Ingratitude is an amazing band, and they're going to be doing a tribute to Earth, Wind, and Fire. And 100% of the proceeds from that concert goes to Youth Writers Rock, so that we can secure our spot for 2023, 2024.
Wow.
And what that concert also is going to do is help with our next step with Youth Writers Rock. We're now inviting students to come in and help screenplay, write scripts for plays and for movies. So we're now getting into screenwriting and movie producing.
Now, you
So
did
we're
that
doing that.
before. Now, I
Yes,
remember
we
seeing it.
did.
Yes, you most certainly did. And that was with one of your other
Yes.
books that from your young writers. You want to tell us a little bit about that and the process that you went through and having the youngins, I call them, involved in that.
Yeah, it was amazing. Uh, one of our groups, which were high schoolers, decided that they wanted to write a book about bullying. And I was so very proud of them because 3 of the 4 of them had experienced bullying, and they were open about their experience and thought that, it's something that needed to be said, and that they wanted to do it in the book. So they wrote the book called The Tormentors, and it's about bullying and conflict resolutions, not just the bullying, but what do we do? What's the resolution to this? Like, how do we get to the bottom of this? And the book did so well. We got the book in Baltimore City schools, Baltimore County libraries, Baltimore City libraries. The book is in the Library of Congress, but the book did so well that we turned it into a short film. And we have won 4 film awards for The Tormentors. And so that kind of, yes, that was amazing. And so the authors, the youth wrote the book, right? And then in The Tormentors film was all youth, middle schoolers, high schoolers that was in the film. So they got the experience of writing the book and also being in the short film and learning a little more about, producing and all that stuff. They had their hands in a little bit of everything. So we're going to just take that a little step further with the 23 session of Youth Writers Rock. And we're going to either turn their book into a short film or a play.
Wow. I'm just almost lost for words, and that's not usually me. Tell our listeners how they can get involved with the fundraiser, because I want that place to be packed. I want people to come out because it's just such a worthy, when I say worthy, it is a worthy cause.
It's a worthy cause, and it's like, you're gonna have a great time, right? You're gonna enjoy the show, and at the same time, you're going to help support 10 youth. 10. If we sell that venue out, that will be enough to get 10 youth to be a part of the 23-24 session for free. So these sessions with Youth Writers Rock are free. They don't cost anything, but you would just need to go to thegordonscenter.com or jcc.org, and you'll see it say "In Gratitude, Tribute to Earth, Wind, and Fire," and you can click that link and buy that ticket. And I guarantee you will have an amazing time while supporting Youth Writers Rock. So even if you flip it the other way and say you will be supporting a great organization while having fun clapping your hands at the same time. So no matter, it's a great opportunity to kind of give and get at the same time. But we are going to sell that place out. I'm already claiming this.
People who are listening to this, you have to go buy your tickets. You have to go listen. When I say listen to music, and I'm not discounting your music, but when you want to hear music, you want to hear a tribute to Earth, Wind, and Fire, this is the place to be. I think you should really get your ticket. Get them early so you can get a good spot, because you want to hear it all. You want to hear it all. You want to be able to be bumping and grinding, and I ain't going to go no further than that, but you really need to go out and to see this. Now, we sat here and we spoke about the Youth Writers Rock and the Youth Writers Challenge and whatnot. Your work has been recognized and awarded as the Woman of Power, Power of Love, and you are a Maya Angelou Lifetime Achievement Award honoree, and that's just to name a few. Now, I'd be sitting here all night if I had to continue to talk about all the awards and accomplishments that you've made. What is your philosophy of life?
My philosophy is it's really hard to say, but it's like, it's okay to be afraid of trying something, but you can't allow fear to stop you from what's rightfully yours, right? And many of us put ourselves in this box, and we have this fear of failure, right? We're afraid that we're going to fail, and so we let fear stop us from doing that thing that we really want to do, that we've been dreaming of, that we've visioned that we was going to do, or a place we were going to be at. But we allow fear to say, oh, it's not the right time. You're not the right person. Everyone else is doing it. You can't do it, or they're better than you, right? We allow fear to stop us from doing what our heart tells us we should be doing or what our destiny is. So my philosophy is don't allow fear to set you up for failure, because the biggest failure we can have in life, Blaque Diamond, is never trying. That's a failure.
Yes.
If you have not even given it a chance, to bloom, it's a failure. And there's no harm in failing. Failing is just, okay, boom, get up, let's do it again. You know what I'm saying? That's another stepping stone, right? That's another step. I'm going up. I learned some things, but the biggest failure we can have in life is never trying. That's my philosophy.
I told you that she was amazing. I told you she was amazing. And what is evolving in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years with Youth Writers Rock, I see it in schools. I see it in other states, because it never gets too big to support our youth. It can't get big, it can get better, but it's never too big. And so I kind of just see us just expanding on this as much as we possibly can, like you said, into other states, into the public school systems, whether it's Baltimore City, but Baltimore County, but really just allowing our kids to have ownership of something, right? These youth that have written these books, or that's going to be a part of the screenplay, that can get screenplay credits, or that are in this movie that can have production rights, have ownership of something that no one will ever be able to take from them. Once they put author on the end of their name, they're author for life, right?
Yes. Are there any outlining trends that you're particularly interested in?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
I said, are there any outlining trends that you're particularly interested in? And you already said the movies. We know about the books. Is there anything else that you guys will be reaching for? Because I see that you're just reaching for the stars.
Yeah, we are. Like we're just gearing up to do the screenplay, because I experienced that having to do the screenplay for The Tormentors. That was a little bit of a torment, but it was fun. So, so we're just tapping into, the screenwriting, and then, going into production. We're doing a short film. And I think, from there, it's the door is open for us at that point, but it's really, really about trying to tap into any student that have some creativity, and not let there be barriers that might stop them from participating, even if they feel like they're shy or they're not the best writer, that's why we're here, to get that creative out of you, and we'll write it, just let us see a little bit of that creativity for you. So it's really just to expand Youth Writers Rock, in terms of having it in different locations, and us doing more than just 2 sessions. Maybe we could do 3 sessions a year instead of 2 sessions a year.
Well, I see South Carolina is asking for you. And I'm seeing somebody post up Legacy Baby. And yep, that's exactly what it is. It's a legacy.
Yes, that's what it is. And that's our goal, is for them to have a legacy. Yeah.
Where can listeners learn more about you and all the wonderful things that you're doing?
Definitely, you can always visit our website at youthwritersrock.com. Again, youthwriterschallenge.org is the head of the nonprofit, and Youth Writers Rock is a program under Youth Writers Challenge. So we're starting to do a little more with Youth Writers Challenge. And with that, just so I can explain that, is we do little events throughout the city. Right, we'll go to Madonna Mall, or to an event that's already happening, and we'll have youth compete doing poetry or short stories. So we have verses and flow challenges throughout little places and, throughout the city. But Youth Writers Rock is an actual 6-month program. So we're just kind of really getting back in since COVID. Really getting back in the swing of things since COVID hit in 2020. And so I'm excited about this first session since COVID. And I think the kids are too, so we got a meet and greet. So anyone that might want to know more about Youth Writers Rock and what we're doing this session, we do have a meet and greet happening on Thursday, February the 9th at the YMCA in Towson at 6:30 p.m. You have the opportunity to come out. You can meet some of the authors that went through the program. You can meet the coaches that are there. And big thank you to the coaches of Youth Writers Rock. I mean, we have teachers, we have administrators, we have authors themselves, but they all are giving of their time and of their, their skill set to be a part of this program. So anyone who, we're doing a nice little meet and greet on Thursday, February 9th at the YMCA in Towson, Maryland, 6:30 p.m. You can just come and show up and please, bring the youth with you. You might think they're not interested, but when they come and see some of the other youth or they hear what it's about, they might change their mind, so just say, hey, come on. Come with me somewhere and just kind of bring them with you and kind of join us on February the 9th at the Towson and Y, the Y in Towson.
Well, you heard it here. You heard Miss Pat tell you about her program. There's plenty of space for these youth. You're at the Y, so you can imagine how big it is. Parents, please bring your children out. Bring them out just for them to stretch their minds, just for them to see what it's about. Just for them to decide this is what I want to do, or I want to know more about this program. It's very important that we stay in the lives of our children. And Pat, I would love for you to come back with your young authors, your published authors, because that's who they're going to be, to share the books. That's exactly who they're going to be. And I want to thank you for sharing your journey with us and for creating a platform for the youth. But now, what is that you got there?
Well, just right in front of me, I have 3 of the books. The 4th one is not here that the kids wrote. This is their books. This is the Tormentors that actually became a short film. And the books can be purchased on Amazon and every place else.
Yeah, you go to Amazon.com. Go on there. You can look for the books there. And those 3 books that you had, one of them that had the little balloon on it, that was written by, how old were those children?
These were 4th graders. So they were about 9 and 10 years old. Wow. And with all of Youth Writers Rock book, it's important for me for the youth pictures to be on the back of the book so people can see who wrote the book. These 9-year-olds wrote this amazing book called The Super Adventures of the Red Balloon. So yeah, it's important for me for the youth names to be on the front of the book and their pictures on the back.
That's amazing. This whole story was amazing. I felt like I've been on that journey with you. This is just an experience that I believe that each child should be able to try to participate in. Youth are capable of so many things, and when they are exposed to inspiring ideas and opportunities, and they have the tools to build their confidence, they can take on anything and everything. A positive youth is an empowered youth with greatness. Thank you so much, Miss Pat.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. I want you
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. But again, don't forget to come back with your writers. Miss Pat's information is below the screen, so you can get in touch with Miss Pat that way. Tune in to Basic Blaque After Dark on February the 17th, when we'll be discussing what your childhood says about you as an adult. This is Blaque Diamond with Basic Blaque After Dark, where we bring you a safe, relaxed space where you can engage openly and candidly. After 8, After Dark.
Basic Blaque After Dark, the all-new podcast show with your host, Blaque Diamond.